First of all, let me just preface this reading by saying that when I was shuffling out the cards, I saw like snippets of images, okay? They weren't moving, they weren't like, moving pictures or anything like that. But, and they're like depictions of random objects, but I feel like there is a common theme in this spread, okay? So for whatever reason, the cards kind of chose to split themselves up like this. Okay, this deals more with like the more tangible stuff in your life, like things that are happening in the work front and things like that. And then the bottom seems to be more of the emotional realm, relationships, and it's just the way the cards choose to divide themselves. But let me talk to you about what I saw. And I feel like the month of December is going to start out in a situation where you're waiting for things. You're waiting for things to happen. And then towards like the latter part of the month, the end of the month, things are going to culminate, come into fruition. And so I do feel like, the energy for this month and the advice that I can give you is in due time, it's going to work out. It's going to come full circle. It's going to come in for you. Okay. So, I guess like don't stress out over it. Don't feel discouraged. Push on. Okay. It's the end of the year. We tend to lose steam or lose momentum. But I do sense that, whatever it is that you've worked really hard at and whatever it is that you're counting on to come in for you, whatever that energy is, it's going to come to fruition. Okay. So don't fret. First of all, I saw a magnifying glass right next to a black comb. And so what it's telling me here with that black comb, first of all, it's almost like going through details, sifting through situations, and going through things with a fine-tooth comb. That means looking at everything that's in front of you very, very carefully, figuring out, almost like a scientist, I feel like, through the process of like elimination or through the scientific method, whatever it is that you're trying to bring forth into the world, and you're trying to figure out, well, I tried this and this is the outcome that I got. I tried this and I got another outcome. I feel like you're trying to consolidate your knowledge. You're trying to go through data, go through information with a fine-tooth comb to make sure you have everything in line, to make sure everything is lined up, and to make sure that there are no mistakes, there are no errors, there are no surprises, okay? I feel like this is heavily in the work sector. I see that you might be in a position where you're reviewing other people's work, for example. You're trying to catch errors. You're trying to, I see this element of like somebody in your environment, they're a little bit, either a little bit careless, a little bit reckless, or they do things too fast and they're very prone to error. Okay. Now, Capricorn, earth signs in general, especially Capricorns, well, earth signs in general. You guys are very, very good at, kind of like being the last person to look at the work of somebody else because you're able to catch a lot of mistakes. You guys are very methodical. You have a process to get things done. You have your own processes that you put in place. It's tried and true. And I feel like because of that, you're very meticulous and very methodical. And I feel like you're in the best position to do this review work, to look over the data, to analyze the data, to look over why things are the way that they are. So I see a lot of energies for this month where you're going to have to keep your eyes very sharp, keep your wits about you, and to make sure to pour over, look over, glance over, and going through things to make sure all the numbers add up, to make sure, all the T's are crossed, to make sure that all the I's are dotted. Now, it seems a little bit boring or monotonous, but I do sense that something was like brought out prematurely by another person. And I feel like, on the heels of the Mercury retrograde that I'm doing this in November. So on the heels of the November Mercury retrograde, there have been a lot of mistakes. There have been a lot of sloppy work. There have been a lot of things that were implemented and then retracted and rescinded. And so you're dealing with the aftermath of that, where you're going to have to fix up things. You're going to have to repair things. You're going to have to glance over things, review things. So I'm seeing a lot of revision, a lot of review, a lot of, you know, just a lot of things that were done in a very hasty manner or put out prematurely, and so you're going to have to fix them. Okay, and the reason I say that is we have here the Page of Wands and this Two of Wands. This is very fast, swift, almost careless energy. Okay, so things that have been implemented, big projects that have been undertaken. I feel like you might be dealing with people who are kind of trigger happy, and they dash to the finish line. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of speed and momentum in this Two of Wands. And I'm also seeing almost like an ivory tower type of an approach where somebody has all the theoretical knowledge, but they have no practical knowledge. And so they don't really know how to apply theory to practice. And so I feel like there is a huge steep learning curve associated with this person, and they're not able to bridge that gap. I'm also seeing I'm seeing like a brick wall where somebody is just not getting something, and so they're doing it probably in the wrong way or in the manner that you don't want to do, that you didn't want them to do it in. And so you're going to have to kind of like review their work and look at what's going on and figure out, you know, how to help them or how to, you know, get them to overcome this blockage that's happening in their perception, in their thought processes, or in the methods in which they're doing something. It sounds very dry, I understand, but just bear with me because I feel like this is like occupying the majority of your time. And, you guys never, you know, back down from a challenge. So I do feel like whatever work that you're doing, even though it sounds, you know, very mundane, I do feel like you're the best person in this position, honestly, because you're the only one that's capable of, you know, the endurance, the patience to see this through. Okay. For those of you who are dealing with like paperwork, okay, I'm seeing a lot of notebooks, a lot of files, a lot of folders. And earlier I said I saw that magnifying glass. And that magnifying glass, I'll talk about the folders and the notebooks. Ledgers, money, finances, contracts, legal paperwork, promises. Like I'm hearing like promissory notes and promises that one party has made to another, and they're contractually obligated to kind of like follow through with their end of the bargain. These things might have been discussed in the month of November. All the details might have been kind of just slapped together, like slap things together, call it a day, here it is. And I feel like there are some mistakes, and unfortunately, you're going to really need to, you know, go through all the details with a magnifying glass. Have a really, really keen eye when it comes to paperwork, and especially if it's money, finance related. Okay, make sure that nothing is slipping under the radar, or it's like I want to say, I don't feel like anybody's doing this deliberately. I just feel like things were kind of slapped together and presented to you, and it has a lot of problems and a lot of holes in it, and you're going to have to be the one to identify these problems and patch things up, okay? So the magnifying glass. Funnily enough, when I saw that, I didn't think of it as, you know, looking at things through a magnifying glass and trying to figure out, you know, what it is, or trying to get a bigger image of it. What I feel is this is a little bit more introspective. It's kind of telling me that December is sort of like the time where you're looking at your own life through a magnifying glass, okay? Trying to figure out, am I happy where I am? Am I happy with my work? Am I happy with my relationship partner? What have I done in the past that has led me to this present moment today? Okay, so you could be very, very happy with everything that you've worked very hard at, or you could be feeling a tinge of regret, remorse, of things that you should have done, okay? Things you should have said, things you should have done, things you should have invested in, things you should have let go of, okay? So I do feel like it's a very, very introspective, it's like examining our own motives, examining our past, examining how we got here, and examining, what do I need to change about myself? Okay, so I feel like looking at your own life through this magnifying glass, um, it's going to drag up some things. And I feel like that's why the first row is split off from the second row, because I do feel like I might even be dealing with two groups of Capricorns who are going through this internal, magnification process where you're looking at your life and you're trying to map out and plan out the next step. And okay, so that's the first thing. First of all, I do sense there is a presence of a very spirited person in your life, okay? And for some of you, this is like a relationship partner. For others of you, this is somebody who could be in the work environment. And then for others, this could be a friend, a family member. So I feel like the energy can be romantic or very platonic. The way this person is going through life, I do feel like you're looking at them in admiration. Okay. The images that denotes this to me is the entire first row. Okay. This is somebody who's very, like happy-go-lucky. Okay. We have here the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is about regrets. It's about situations where we wish we'd done something differently. Situations where we feel like a little bit discouraged, a little bit sad, a little bit like mopey. Okay. And so it's, you're dealing with somebody who is very, very spirited. They don't let the setbacks define them. They don't let the obstacles and they don't let like setbacks, obstacles, or even problems deter them from wherever it is they're trying to go or whatever it is they're trying to get to. And because of their sense of optimism, they have essentially started out like this, Page of Wands. Lack of experience, okay? Somebody who's very optimistic, but they're lacking in practicality. They're lacking in, a solid foundation to make things work. And you guys are very much about building foundations. And you don't take on things like you don't bite off more than you can chew. You want to know the ins and out of something very, very thoroughly before you commit to something. And so this person, the way they live their life, it's like, let's just, jump in first, ask questions later. Let's get our hands dirty and then figure it out from there. And this is somebody who's like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And the way they live their life, their demeanor, their tune, their attitude is just something that runs very, very counter to the calculated, to the methodical, to the, organized way in which you have planned out and laid out your life. But against all odds, this person is full of adventure. Okay, so I feel like this is somebody who's very, who's always ready to experience something new. This is somebody who is very, very well traveled. They might be on the verge of traveling, okay, making some major moves in their lives, grabbing life by the horns, taking control of their life, and making really, really great strides as well in their own life, okay? The object or the frog is sitting on this globe. And I feel like it basically means, having total control. And from where they are, from these humble beginnings, they have achieved a lot of greatness. Six of Wands, success. Okay, basking in the sun. This is a lizard-looking creature. Okay, they're usually cold-blooded, or they're cold-blooded, and they have to, soak up the sun in order to, warm up their body heat. Okay, so I definitely feel like this is a person who is basking in their glory, who's basking in the sun, who's getting a lot of recognition, and then they're able to achieve this emperor status. Okay, and you're starting to see that it's because they never let setbacks weigh them down. They never, give up a fight. They never back away from a challenge. But the way that they approach things is like, I'm going to try it from this angle. If it doesn't work, I'm going to try it from this angle. Okay, they don't just say, oh, it doesn't work, let's scrap it, let's try something else. So I feel like, the process of not being able to, not giving up, not giving in, and not letting, not sitting around moping, wasting time, wasting energy, and being mired in negative thoughts. I feel like you're dealing with somebody like this. You want to follow in their footsteps. You want to travel with them. You want to go wherever that they are going. And you could be contemplating as well, packing up your bags, traveling light, and following this person, following their lead, or physically following them, because they know how to live and they know how to go from a space of like inexperience to be able to achieve emperor status. Okay, so I feel like you're in sheer admiration of a person, and you wish that you could travel light, and you wish that you could, live out their lifestyle, or live out their mentality, so that you yourself could achieve, whatever it is they're hoping to achieve. I do feel as well, like I mentioned at the beginning, there, the month, the activities, the images that I saw, they seem very, very mundane. They seem like everyday objects. And I feel as if some of you are craving like a next big adventure. You're craving the next big thing. You're craving for some more excitement, or some change of scenery, or something grandiose, or something, truly, it's like flipping the script. I'm seeing like something that would be a game changer. Okay, you're looking for a big break. You're waiting for something to break through for you. You're waiting for your time to be in the sun, and you're waiting for this. And so the first 2 weeks, I feel, of December is just about this waiting process. Okay, and once again, utilize that magnifying glass to really look at areas of your life that you want to either change up, you want to make a little bit more dynamic, you want to, change the method in which you're doing things. It's going to be really helpful if you start to think about December